here to talk about business. And as a landlord and as a businessman, as a homeowner, I'm going to talk about something that is pretty special, actually. And there was a man who gave me some grace, right? Gave me grace. He was a man that allowed me to walk away from a very complicated situation. Pompano Landlord. His name was Allan. Sorry. And Allan, if you're listening, I doubt it, but just in case you ever do listen. And today's video is about you. And it's about the effect that you had on me. I think it was 2019 when I had this bright idea, and I talked about it on another video, but I had this bright idea to open a burger franchise. You know, I had to find a location, and you know, I was so excited about this location because I actually know the neighborhood very well, and I actually enjoy the beach. And it was literally like on the beach, on the busy strip, on a busy street, where people want to be and stuff like that. So there was this one location that was available, and I signed a lease. And Mr. Allan was the landlord. And I signed a 5-year lease with another 5-year option to extend. And you know, if you know anything about being a landlord, lease is a contract. It's an agreement. So I had signed this lease for 5 years, and I had to pay $3,200 a month with a 3% increase yearly, right? So $3,200 a month. Not a lot of money, right? Today. So I had this bright idea to open a burger franchise, and I found the perfect location. So I signed this lease, and here I go, start, working on my permits and start working on the construction, and things just started to shift. Things started to change, and I felt it in the air that something was not right. And in early 2020, we started to listen to all this crazy stuff about something called COVID. I remember watching a video on YouTube about something that was going on in China. I was like, what the heck is going on in China? But anyway, that video, didn't go away. It just like kept popping up, and then there was more talk about some virus, and there was some fear and all these things happening, and then all of a sudden there was the fear in the United States. Guess what happened? I was in the middle of the construction on this, this site for my new burger franchise. I knew something was wrong. I knew something was happening, and obviously I couldn't tell exactly what it was, but I just knew something wasn't right. I went to my landlord and I said to him, listen, I'm having some difficulties right now, and I'm struggling after a year to pay the rent because I'm starting to feel like something is not right. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I feel like I'm running out of money, things are slowing down, and I need to kind of walk away from this lease. He said to me on the phone, he's like, Orlando, I'll tell you what, I'm away right now, but when I come back in 2 weeks, I'd like to meet you in person. And he said, hey, I'm in town. I'd like to meet you. Come over. We met at the property. He saw all the work I have done. Like I said before in another video, I spent $90,000 on construction and permitting. And he saw my advancement. He saw, all the building materials and my plumbing, and the place was really taking shape, Are you sure you want to walk away from this lease? You know that you have a contract with me. And I said, yeah, I know I have a contract with you, and I feel terrible because it's not something that I do. I don't quit on things, But I feel like I'm really struggling to move forward, and especially with all the things that I'm hearing and all the chatter that I hear on the news, I feel something is not right. And he said to me, I can see that you really worked hard and you've put a lot of money into this idea, and the place looks so much better than the way I gave it to you. I'm going to let you walk away from your lease. You're going to have no penalties. You don't owe me anything. You could simply just give me the keys and walk away. I had looked at him and I said, Allan, I never met you in person, but when I first talked to you on the phone, I just knew you were a cool guy, and I knew you were a good man. And you have no idea how much it hurts me to walk away, but also how thankful I am at this minute that you completely understand what's happening. I shook his hand, I gave him my keys, and I walked away from that lease. And that was a difficult decision to make. Looking forward and going forward, I have to remember and think about all the times I allow people to walk away from leases that I had. I remember in small amounts I allow people to walk away from situations, and I was gracious to them, and Allan was gracious to me. Recently, I had this very same thing play out in my life on a commercial lease. You see, I own another building down the street, not too far from here, and I run a cafe out of there, out of one side, and the other side is an actual bar. It's a nice bar, it has a kitchen, it has a garden. Everything was going good. He gave his deposits down, we have a contract, we're good. He's starting to do his thing, he's remodeling, and all these things are going on. And then 8 months later, he's still not open. He was paying rent, right? But 8 months later, he's not open. The city's giving him a lot of problems with permitting and all these legalities that the city puts you through. Larry came to me and he said to me, Orlando, I'm having a lot of trouble with the city. I'm having trouble with my wife. Maybe opening this bar was not the best idea for me. We have another bar and we're successful and it's busy and we know what we're doing, and opening this bar was just another dream for me. But the timing is terrible and I need to talk to you about breaking my lease. Now, mind you, in this particular property, for him to take it over, I had this perfect garden. I had a beautiful garden. Kind of like I don't want to say Garden of Eden because, I can't even imagine what that was, right? But this was a beautiful garden with, all kinds of plants and exotic plants and orchids and all this stuff. And people used to sit back there and they loved it. When he told me these things, I had so many things in my mind as a landlord. I was like, what are you talking about? No, we need to, you need to open and stuff like that. And he just looked at me and says, I don't have any more money left. I can't move forward. He took a gorgeous place that I had built, a beautiful bar, beautiful kitchen, a beautiful garden, and he destroyed it, made it dark and gloomy and terrible. But in my head, I only could see and remember Allan, how he simply looked at me and said, kid, I understand what you're going through. Just give me the keys and it's okay. I had to look at Larry and I said to him, Larry, I understand what you're going through. Give me the keys and walk away. As beautiful as it was to listen to those words from Allan, it was difficult to say the words to Larry. Larry, he looked at me, he said Orlando, because he's from the island, so he's like, Orlando, thank you, you good man. And I said, all right, man. I said, man, I'm sorry it didn't work out, bro. Just good luck with everything, I'm here for you. He's like, can I take a few things from me? Can I take? And I said, yeah, you can take whatever you need. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Take the TVs from the wall. Take this, take that. It's okay. And he left and he took all his things the following week and looked at the space and I was like, oh my God, what a mess. So my question to you is, as a businessman, as a person, what kind of landlord are you? Do you have a similar situation happening right now as we speak? Is there a tenant struggling on one of your properties? Is it a real struggle? Is it a real family struggle happening in your property? Are you gracious? Are you thinking about it? Are you understanding? Some real situations out there happening. Real struggles happening in your property. Are you allowing the contract to rule? Is the contract what you stick by? Is that all you care about? Or are you allowing your heart, or maybe a higher power? Are you giving grace? Did you receive grace at one time in your life? You know, as hard as it was to lose that money and go through that time, I tell you something, I went through it, and today I could say that the lesson is well received. Hopefully, moving forward, the next person who rents the bar, the space, will be the perfect person. Will be one that will be successful, will pay his rent, and as a landlord, I will be a happy man. It's one of those things in life that we as businessmen, and I'm speaking to the businessman community, or I'm also speaking to the future landlord. And I hope it doesn't happen. But if it does, would you remember to think about it, to share grace? Those are the questions I have for you today. And I'm going to leave you with another thought. You can apply this to anything. You can apply this to not just a landlord, but also as an employer. Something that you haven't taken the time out to know. Maybe that employee is struggling with something much greater than its work. But still, they show up, but something is not right. Maybe as a boss, you should have your antennas up. Which one of your employees may need just a small meeting with you? Gracious, just a little grace. I invited my staff from my cafe to have dinner together at the steakhouse. I treated them. And I just wanted to give them a little bit of my time, just a little bit of my time. And we ate together, and they were so happy. You know what happened after week after? They worked even better. They were more united. They were more happy. And now I have to do that at my other business. I need to set up a nice dinner with my other staff. And they just need a little bit of your time, a little grace, So as a landlord, you can apply grace. As a boss, you can apply grace. And what about as a friend? How many actually good friends you have that you have not given grace to? Why don't you extend a little grace to that friend? Pick up the phone. Send a text. Say hello. What about a family member? That's an interesting topic. I'm sure we all have that going on. You know what? I haven't even spoken to my sister for 3 weeks. And she hasn't called me. But you know what? I'm going to extend some grace. And today is what? Friday night. I'm going to call. This message could be applied any way, anywhere, anytime. We have the power to stick to our contract and put people through hell. You know that? Can you imagine that? You have power to put people through hell, through hard times, through difficult moments, through stress. But you also have the same power to extend grace, extend joy. It's amazing. We have power because God allowed us to have some power. Your family relationship is in your hands. Your friendships are in your hands. Your employees are in your hands. And as difficult as a lot of these conversations can be, we can also make them more difficult than they need to be, right? So today is a beautiful day. Today we're talking. Today I'm sharing my heart with you, personal experience. And I really hope that you get something out of this. You know that? Because I know even just talking to you, I'm thinking about things that I can also do. You know what? This is Studio 954, and I really want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for taking the time. I hope you like it. I hope you subscribe. I hope you take a minute to just press that button and say, hey, I like what you're saying. I relate to it. If you do, can you do that for me? And again, thanks so much, and have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. Remember, stay real.